Our presentation was generated for a community college called Guilford Technical Community College. The system we chose for our PIR report was a program called TimeClock Plus. TimeClock Plus was a program the college needed to join the 21st century and to implement electronic data records for working hours, time off requests, and FML requests. Over the course of the semester, Alexander, Conlon, Courtney, Greg, Savannah, and Di delved deeper into the need of the business, the formulation of requirements, and the overall success of implementation. We conducted interviews with our point of contact at GTCC and extrapolated opinions based on information received. This summary presentation will walk you through our process as well as GTCC's process in relation to that implementation. TimeClock Plus is a computerized time management system. The program itself is fairly simplistic, but extremely beneficial. The company who created the system, Data Management Incorporated, commonly referred to as DMI, also helped partner to create the main systems utilized with Guilford Technical Community College's IS database, known as Colleague. Guilford Tech required a new system. The prior record keeping at the college was done through triplicate manual forms filled out by employees. The process, once forms were complete, was to turn the forms into department heads, who then in turn turned the forms into HR. A team of HR reps would look through the forms, fill out spreadsheets in Excel in relation to hours, time off requests, leave available, and manually enter the information into the system person by person. As you can imagine, with the staff of a college campus, this can be tedious and time-consuming. The number of errors were not astronomical, but noticeable enough for GTCC that when the time came to bring up an electronic option, everyone involved in the project team leapt at the opportunity to find something new. After some review, GTCC chose TimeClock Plus due to a small front-end cost, its capability at meeting the guidelines the state of North Carolina institutions have to abide by due to state statutes, and its ability to scale as necessary. The program actually contains a number of extremely helpful features that may be utilized in the future, but for now, Guilford Tech is focusing on the implementation and streamlining of processes. Implementation of corrections made possible with the new system will help cut down on errors in pay. The PIR report was done in 5 segments over the course of the last 12 weeks. The first segment, over the next 2 slides, will review the information from the Technology Environment section of our PIR assignment. It includes things like application architecture and integration related to how the program is designed and is utilized by the existing IS system, hosting and capacity requirements, how it will be hosted, and what is necessary to keep the program running at an optimal level with the current system. Security backup and recovery methods, what security features were necessary to implement and make sure only the people who needed access to more than just their own timesheet would gain access and maintain access, and what was in place in case the system failed, and what would be necessary to not lose business data. Maintenance, performance, and monitoring, or who keeps the program running smoothly and consistently. And finally, tracking components and performance. So how the performance after final implementation was monitored and judged as a success or a failure. The technology environment of Guilford Tech isn't as robust as some operating businesses now must be, but considering the wealth of programs, information, and internet features necessary to keep communications, classes, and job functions operating, it isn't minimal either. TimeClock Plus was a commercially available off-the-shelf program. The program itself is built using SQL, or Structured Query Language, to speak directly to the Enterprise Resource Planning Information System, or ERP. The file updates happen at the end of every month for the beginning of the next month and are transferred as a flat file. Since the majority of GTCC employees are salaried and are paid once monthly, this makes it easy to be sure the proper amounts of pay are sent over, and gives ample time to make corrections if necessary. Before the flat files are uploaded to the ERP, they're checked for accuracy. The actual flat file is the data from the weekly timesheets that were logged and then condensed to a 4-week line item per employee. Though TimeClock Plus does integrate into the main ERP through Colleague, it is considered a standalone system, as it does not need to be connected to the main information system to work. TimeClock Plus is an extremely widely used program due to the ability to scale to meet almost any system's needs, and due to its simplistic programming code. The program is small enough to work for simple small businesses or can grow to meet the needs of giant international companies. For Guilford Tech, this meant hosting the application on a single server on campus and connecting it to the campus intranet in a precautionary measure to ensure security. Guilford Tech's needs for the program are well below the program's capacity limits. The security protocols in place for TimeClock Plus are simple by nature, but make things easy to transition to. Each staff member logs on using their already defined standard employee account ID and uses their standard authorization to log in. One additional way security is in place was after completing the upload of each department's employee information, one tech from IT and one HR representative went through and scrubbed all of the non-important data. This included removing things like names, dates of birth, addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, and things like that. The employee ID matches an employee key in the ERP system defined in colleagues so that when flat files transmit, they can correlate with existing employee data in a more secure way. TimeClock Plus is backed up daily around 2 a.m., and since it's hosted locally, should an issue arise or an error occur with the file, they can roll back to the previously stored backup. There is not currently a secondary backup in place, so should the entire server crash due to a disaster of some type, the main ERP is, so they would only lose the most recent payroll and time data from the current pay period. They could even switch back to manual entry if it was drastic enough while they attempted to reconstruct the program server. Routine maintenance is done in-house with an IT staff member, but more difficult maintenance is done through DMI. Any type of request for performance metrics are requested from the vendor, though they haven't had to use this yet since they only began utilizing the basic and standard program tools such as timekeeping. The license information is tracked on an Excel spreadsheet along with the rest of their licensing information for programs, which is hosted on the main ERP. Standard inventory tracking is done with college, and bigger ticket items are tracked using a ticketing system. But since this program is hosted via intranet, and most intranet-connected devices will have access, it isn't pertinent to our PIR report. The next piece of our PIR assignment was systems development process review. This led to us questioning things like the policy and procedures in place that Guilford Tech would deal with in relation to implementation or purchasing, the requirements necessary for the program, and which leaders would take up the role of running the project from beginning to end, options or decisions made for the product, as well as possible disagreements that arose over the program purchase. This section also will highlight how the implementation began. Since GTCC is a state of North Carolina public institution, they have many requirements for projects of this type. The Office of the CIO, or Chief Information Officer, has set a few documents up for departments and institutions to utilize that help guide them through the policies set by the state legislature. These documents help contain and explain what is necessary to be met for minimum qualifications for programs or options chosen. The specifications of the systems for things like security measures and stopgaps, as well as standard guidelines for purchasing of all IT components. After Guilford Tech sat down and decided they needed to invest in a new timesheet management program, they had to submit a request detailing what was needed to the Office of the CIO so that it could be publicly announced according to guidelines and allow the contractors to bid on services and program options. GTCC would evaluate bids and make a recommendation on what they thought they would need, but it is ultimately approved by the CIO. Luckily, TimeClock Plus was cost-effective and had prior relationships in relation to other ERP programs they utilized and was approved quickly. Before the proposal request could be sent to the state, Guilford compiled a project team to hammer out specifics of need, including members of multiple departments. Guilford Tech's implementation staff includes Senior Business Support Manager, Accounting and Reporting Director, Applications Development Manager, Director of Payroll, Senior Payroll Technician, Benefits Manager, employment manager, and HR senior specialist. Approval came from the Vice President of Business and Finance. The vendor representatives include a professional services implementation specialist, project manager, program manager, and the director of professional services. As stated before, options were fairly limited for Guilford Tech. This did not, however, hamper their ability to find the perfect fit for their system. The requirement of them needing something that runs on SQL Server was a restriction, but not much of one. SQL Server is the second most popular coding for ERP applications. First, if you exclude Oracle, which is utilized more as a platform for modification for servers than a traditional server coding. TimeClock Plus required next to no customization once purchased due to the fact that it worked hand in hand with Colleague, so it was a smooth and quick transition to the new platform. Once the program was in place and they ran a few test runs with some specialized coding to convert the flat files into a batch upload from a single user per entry upload, the process was strategically simple: convert over department by department. This effort made sure that everything was moving smoothly for the conversion, got the IT and HR teams in place and understanding what needed to be done for a smooth transition, made sure it didn't overwhelm or overload anything, and had there been a problem, it would have only affected the people using the system at that point in time. After the initial department, only 2 staff members have been necessary for the remaining steps: 1 IT employee to help with the change, and 1 HR representative to make sure the scrubbing is done correctly before they are uploaded. During the initial installation, DMI had a database rep on site at the school to ensure the smooth operation and transition. During the first 2 department phases, they've run it as a parallel to the prior paper forms in case of an issue. Our assessment of TimeClock Plus program and implementation was done carefully, but was fairly straightforward. Due to the project team's superior skills in defining the problem, confirming the information of the program requirements, confirming capability of the program, the successful first attempt at installation and implementation, and the success they have had changing over group by group, we believe that Guilford Tech has done everything correctly and to the best of their ability. It helped enhance business performance by freeing up labor and time. It is a more accurate and consistent system than the old manual form entry. It met their business need. It reduces errors due to streamlining and also due to the electronic correction eligibility at any point. The program will allow for functional reporting and will actually be monumental in the assistance with pulling historical data and lead. Human resources will have an easier time working to find the right amount of time and labor needed for any point in the year to make sure staffing requirements are met but don't drastically exceed business need. The program is extremely cost effective, so it will help cut down on business expenses in multiple forms, including lost man hours and the purchase of triplicate forms. And since the system fits so well with the ERP, it won't require many changes aside from simple updates until the college converts to an entirely new ERP system. Our only recommendation came in the form of a suggestion. The current system requires internet access through campus Wi-Fi. However, many faculty members work off-site, away from school, or on multiple sites. We suggested they explore the option for off-site access in the future. It is possible with the program, but may require something like a simple security keychain or RFID drive. We have each learned a great deal from this project, including the benefit of breaking a large project into smaller, more manageable pieces. This also improves time management. It has been helpful to see how an implementation project is organized and intentional and the various stages and roles involved. We have each experienced enhanced communication skills and are more comfortable sharing ideas with the group. We have learned to recognize, appreciate, and utilize our own strengths as well as the strengths of our teammates.